I'd like to call the meeting to order. Thank everyone for their attendance. And I really want to thank our chairman of the TPO for doing a great job with the little lunch. It's worked out. If I could be as lucky as you. Okay, you have a motion for approval of the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. We'll now go to our public comments. Donna Sy, we welcome you.
Good afternoon, my name is Donna Sy, and I live in Portsmouth. I didn't plan anything to talk about, but I was really concerned about the last HR, thank you, PPO meeting. One of my concerns was when Delegate Yancey made his motion and they voted on it right away. Okay. But what was happening is I was able to talk to Delegate Yancey in person about the issue. And then I was able to talk to Delegate Jones and Scully to clarify things, and that made it better. Now, this is the problem. How many people are going to be, that we have elected, are going to be available to talk to me? The mayor does not talk to me in Portsmouth at all, zero. And the city manager is going to charge me for all the information for 4 years that I asked for. So that causes me not to be able to self-govern. I'm all about self-governing and teaching other people how to self-govern. So this body are elected and appointed. And if I don't know what's going on, I would know from the elected how it's affecting me. Because you know what? I pay taxes all over the place. Nobody comes in and pays my taxes. I pay it. So all I want to say is this. You make your motions and do what you want to do, but I want to understand personally by conversation. I learn by conversation. I don't learn by just, talking and visuals and stuff like that. I want to apply what I learn. I apply what I learn. So that's what I'm saying. I want to know everything that's going on by the elected. So I have a voice and that I count. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker, Frank. We welcome you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a nice day. Me, I just had an exciting adventure this morning, learning all kinds of different things. Some of the things I learned I didn't like. You people represent Hampton Roads. I'm the old school. I call it Tidewater, but it's Hampton Roads. You represent all the people in the city. HOV lanes, there's something that I'm learning is put out by the state of Virginia and the federal government, and it's out of your jurisdiction. They come down here and they impose an HOV lane that they're going to institute. And you're not going to get the money. The state's getting the money. Which brings another question to my mind. This new Hampton Roads Bridge tunnel that they're going to put in, it's going to have designated lanes in it, which means there's more hot lanes, which means more tolls. You get these tolls, these are all money coming out of your community, out of your people's pockets. Do you control that money? It should be in your pocket. Now, up in Northern Virginia, they had the same problem where the state come in there and they decided to put tolls all over the world. And somehow they managed to turn around and get control of some of that money. And I think you people should be able to do the same thing down here. You're going to toll here, spend the money here. That's not a hard concept to make. It's the people here that are working their butts off to earn that money. And the state of Virginia is taking it away from them. And they claim it's going to help us. Well, it may be part of that dead zone between Richmond and Hampton Roads. It may be on I-81, for all I know, because we can't get a firm commitment. And so what I'm asking you people to do is find out where this money is going and how you can get control of it. Because me, personally, I like Norfolk's hybrid, Plan B. I think giving that whole area, a back door out of that area, makes sense to me. Because let's face it, the majority of the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel itself is below standard, which means it can flood. It means if rising water keeps coming in there, you can run into a problem. Which means people in that area need to get out of there. And right now, they got to go all the way down and around. You talk about Plan B, which runs down to 164. Well, there's an environmental impact that affects that. You have letters from the Army Corps of Engineers and the Navy showing concern. But it doesn't mean they say no. They said they have a concern. And if you look at the concern now and take care of it, you can get that built. Because that is a better alternative than going down to the ports. I'm in favor of the ports. I'm in favor of expanding the ports. But I think other things are more important. Getting traffic off the streets in Norfolk is one of them. We don't need trucks running up and down that road. We don't need all that. We need to have a means for them to get around, to get to where they're going, because I understand time is everything. And ports, truck drivers are willing to pay, companies are willing to pay tolls to move their cargo quicker. And they don't need bottlenecks. And right now, we got a bottleneck. And it's going to take years and years and years before you get that alternative A built. And now they want to add to A by Bowers Hill and 460. Well, these were all in the plans for years. And every time you turn around and postpone what used to be the Patriots Crossing, is years and years down the road that things don't get done that should have been done. And that's my comments for today. I wish you people can turn around and get control of that money and spend it here in our area, because we're the ones putting it up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your comments. Do I have a motion for approval of the minutes of the September 15, 2016 Hrtac board meeting? Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Very good. I'm going to turn this over to Kevin on the action items. There is a bit of change. If you bring that to everyone's attention, please, Kevin. Based on the PTO meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this will be a much more abbreviated presentation than what was anticipated before, but in a historic moment, as those that were party to the HRTPO vote, thank you very much for your support and also your leadership, Chair Johnson, in bringing this forward. In response to that, and part of that resolution, the HRTPO has requested that the Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission consider and take action on the Hrtac proposed Alternative A modified, which is the companion plan of finance that also incorporates Alternative A of the SEIS, moving forward and supporting that, and also maintaining the 2040 fiscally constrained long-range transportation plan, and also incorporating the Bowers Hill Interchange project, commensurate with the timing of the HRB High-Rise Bridge Phase 2. I'm going to turn the floor over to Councilor Lima. We've made some quick modifications to what was published as this resolution, and under Council's guidance in hand, we will go through this.
Hey, Tom.
Mike, if you could break, there you go. Included in the agenda package today with Kevin's briefing memo was a resolution that was framed without knowing what the alternative was. The track changes on the screen show the inserts that we've made to follow the action that was taken by HRTPO today. It indicates that the alternative A modified was selected by them, and that the financial study that Kevin's group prepared showed the feasibility of that alternative, and that the commission is taking action to support that alternative. The final whereas clause shows that there is $5 million that have been previously allocated toward the cost of the Hampton Roads Crossing SEIS. Mike, if you would scroll down, the last resolution shows that the commission is authorizing the reallocation of that money to the study that was discussed at the HRTPO meeting.
Thank you. Delegate Jones, would you be willing to make some comments? I know that you have made some commitments here for some additional funding.
I think that, the commitments that we have made, talking with the Secretary earlier, and, the dollars that are denoted here, that would be the $5 million that was currently allocated that will go towards studying, I believe, the Patriots Crossing, 664. And there was an additional request for up to another $2 million that we thought would come from the Hrtac dollars. And that the Secretary of Transportation had, agreed that they would work with us, with our local VDOT contingent, to be able to move forward in an expedited manner, if you want to use that term, giving these additional dollars to be able to look at the feasibility of 664, the Patriots Crossing, connector for Crane, etc., as we are trying to fashion and put together what we can or cannot do in the region, given the dollars that we have. I know that
164.
Yeah, I'm at 164. Excuse me. It runs across, and we've got a lot of good things that are going on in the past. I think this commission has exceeded the expectations of many. The fact that how quickly we have come together and coalesced around a plan for transportation for this region. And I am committed and willing to work with anything that I can do in my capacity as chairman to make sure that we facilitate and move forward to getting the study done as it needs to be done.
Thank you, Alexander, you're right, and concur. Okay, very good. We have this resolution, do I have a motion?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Is this unanimous?
Well, just one question.
Please, Tom.
I heard the $7 million is basically cumulative in PTOs. I think the motion had included the $7 million. So, but there's no issue with PTO's motion over this source.
If I can, Mr. Chairman, I think that when we set this up several years ago, we always intended that we would be able to self-fund the things that were important to the region. That's why we did the regional monies for Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads. And I think what we've seen this morning, what I heard went on this morning, is a prime example of a group that's elected to and appointed to do a job, made some very good decisions based on what we need to do to move our economy forward. Because I can tell you, we had a meeting last week, and if you look at Virginia's economy in general, we're not doing as well as we would like. If you look in the roads economy in particular, we're certainly struggling to keep pace with the rest of the Commonwealth in many regards. So I just, again, commend TPO and this body for moving forward and taking the necessary steps to put in place some much-needed road projects that have been around for a long time that we can now take care of.
Good. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, just to piggyback or just to thank Delegate Jones and Delegate Yancey for their leadership. Delegate Jones and I have been on the phone for the last 24 hours with Secretary Lane to assure that we continue to connect our region for reliability, connectivity, economic development, and of course, traffic mitigation. One of the things I want to see is that be it further resolved that we spell out the I-564, I-64 connectors, Patriot Crossing, I-664 MMMBT, and the Virginia Route 164, 164 connector. I don't know if that works with him, Kevin.
Mike, you made that edit on the screen, but we can do that right now.
Is right now.
Yes.
Where's the bellows on? What do we need?
And Mr. Chairman, while he's doing that, I think it's important to the point that was made earlier by one of the speakers. These projects are not new, but there's a lot of moving parts from the perspective of the public from this morning. So I think it'd be really important to kind of walk through to show that these have been on our list for a long time. This just puts us in the queue to have it, as Mayor Krasnoff likes to say, to be ready to take action to build bridges and tunnels. So I think that would be helpful if Director Page wouldn't mind just maybe walking.
We can do that.
So people would have a good idea of what exactly we've included in this resolution.
You want to go through those?
Sure, yes, sir, thank you. Moving forward with the projects on the alternative that has been selected under Alternative A, modified, we will have all of our approved projects by 2022. That's the ones that are currently in play. Those projects include the Peninsula segment projects all the way out to the 234 exit. As we move forward as well, the 264 phases 1 and 2 are delivered. We will also see the high-rise bridge phase 1 delivered, and initiation and furthering planning, not only for the 460-5813 project, which is $5 million committed, but also we're having a public hearing this month on the $10 million to complete the phase 3 of the 264-64 remaining movements at that very congested interchange. Also in the development of this, following coincident with the 2040 plan and staying constrained, we deliver a high-rise bridge tunnel by 2024. 2031 is Hampton Roads Bridge tunnel by 2024. High-rise bridge phase 2 by 2031, and the Bowersville interchange 2031 at the same time. Delivery 460-5813, which we've already initiated the design for, will be completed in 2035, as well as the 8 laning of what's known today as the Segment 1 Peninsula Widening Project, all the way out to Fort Eustis, to include Fort Eustis interchange as an upgrade. In addition to that, as we move forward and look ahead, we are looking to develop through this action an reallocation, and repurposing of $5 million, which, thank you, State, for the $2 million that will bank with that and pledge, is that we will then develop what is the next step for Patriots Crossing and also for I-664 and Monitor Mary Mac moving forward. So that's what's involved today as to what the future is. And I hope I answered your question, because someone was whispering in my ear while you were asking it. So I want to just make sure I've covered everything you asked for, Delegate Chairman Jones. Thank you for your support and your leadership, both from the Commonwealth's perspective and General Assembly, the people you serve, as well as everyone else around the table. This has been a great enjoyment for me to be a part of this opportunity, and also moving this forward as quickly as we can.
Yeah, we got this resolution to everyone's satisfaction now.
Mr. Chairman, if Kevin just could read the added language to make sure that we got it right, especially at the VA 164, 664 connector, or should it be 164, 164?
It's the VA 164 connector only. You don't need to state it twice. You don't need, it looks like it's in twice. It's just a VA 164 connector.
Okay, this is stated correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm working on now. Yeah, it would be 5 million is ours. It is the VA 164/164 connector, so you need to put that back. Thank you. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
The 5 million, should we change that to 7?
This was the money that's already allocated. They got you.
This is ours. That the pledge is the state's.
Right.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, if I can, I mean, when we had the conversation, the pledge was to work with Hrtac and the TPO that we were using Hrtac dollars. That was the discussion that we had. So again, it needs to stay up to, not to exceed, because it might not be 5.
Right.
This is
Why don't we go and put up to 7?
Up to 7 million.
Up to 7, let's change that, and then we're calling for the vote.
Yeah, I absolutely.
If I would have been like that, $2 million, I mean, that's an expensive number.
In Richmond, we call it, it's catching a fever.
Is that straight?
What I would suggest, and working with the counselor on this, is that what we're doing is repurposing the balance of the $5 million, and we need to set a maximum limit of $7 million somewhere in this. Maybe after the work.
Tom, how do you want to word that, please?
Well, we could, excuse me. Mike, in the second to last line of that resolution you're in right now, go down. So after SEIS components, I'm sorry, I skipped down one too many lines. Go up a line. up to an additional, I think you need to say reallocates up to $7 million. Go up to the top line, I'm sorry. Hereby reallocates up to $7 million to include the balance.
But aren't we only reallocating 5 million?
Well, you can say hereby allocates up to $7 million to include the reallocation of the balance.
But that makes sense to me. Okay, let's reset.
So go down to include the reallocation, insert reallocation before balance of the okay, and I would go up to the whereas clause and just say I would strike to reallocate the balance. And just say desires to allocate. We could just say to further desires to allocate money or funds toward further studies and strike the rest of the sentence.
Okay, Tom, that legal sufficient?
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or points to make? I've heard that someone has asked that we have a roll call vote. Call roll.
Can we bring that back up? To allocate funds for further further study or further studies relating to the components not selected in the selected SEIS alternative.
Is that okay with you? All right, we'll have the roll call, please.
Mayor Krasnoff?
Chesapeake votes yes.
Chair Rabel?
Franklin votes yes.
Chair Alphen?
The great county of Isle of Wight. Where the aroma of freshly dug peanuts fills the air as we speak, votes yes.
Mr. Hippel?
The greater county of James City votes yes.
Mayor Price?
votes yes.
Mayor Alexander?
Buffett vote yes.
Mr. Green?
The little city of the coast.
Mayor Wright?
Portsmouth is a yes.
Mr. Porter?
The greatest county of Southampton.
Mayor Johnson?
Suffolk votes yes.
Mayor Sessions?
Virginia Beach votes yes.
Mayor Freeling?
Williamsburg votes yes.
Mr. Shepherd?
York County votes yes.
Delegate Jones?
Yes.
Delegate Stoley?
Yes.
Delegate Yancey?
Yes.
All right. I was giving Chris Jones said it earlier, but I really want to sit back and thank everyone for all the hard work over the last few years. And we really have a lot to be proud of. And it truly is a team effort. It's the city's working together with our delegation and our governor, and we're grateful to each other. I'm grateful to each and every one of you for these accomplishments. Okay, information items. Gavin?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Briefly, the Hampton Roads Transportation Accountability Commission's financial statement for the month is before you. In that information provided, I can bring you further up to date. Senator, our good Senator and Chair of Finance Wagner is not here today, so I'll fill in for him. Total all banks on our balance as of 9/30/16 is $447,533,659. What we see forward was
A lot of that left today.
the good news, sir, is that we received we're seeing our deposits now starting to come up. We're at $13,432,674 on our last deposit. And our market interest gained through our investments, as you know, we have a three-step strategy now, is at $447,796 for the month. So turn the floor back over to you, sir, for any questions.
One, that's a great report. I also think it should be recognized that Jim Hrtac's the only representative from VDOT here today. So you tell Mr. Baldwin and Secretary Lane, we don't need them. Got the job done with your help, okay? I hope you all know that we have our next meeting on November 17th. You all see it? What? It's likely we might cancel that meeting after today, but at this time, put it on your calendar. We'll put a formal notice out that it's canceled. Okay, in the next week or so. Thank you all very much for your attendance. We will adjourn.